What I really
Yes,
said.
that is true.
What I said is, say now we are just before Prophet Moses. Okay, we know him like another man, individual, whatever, right? Just to visualize it. So we were following the laws of the past, like the Noahide laws, of the laws of Noah. Prophet Moses came to us and said, God has appointed me a prophet and given me the Torah, this guidance, this law for you to follow. Imagine now, you and I, we say, we are not going to follow. You keep yours, we will follow the laws of our forefathers, Noah. Do you all think that you and I will have salvation by rejecting Noah and Moses and his message?
Well, this was rebellion, right? It was outright rebellion. And you
So
see
would
that
we have salvation?
Yes, obviously not, because people would rebel against the person that God sent them to lead them out of Egypt into the promised land, right? So you had people in those 40 years, people who rejected Moses or rebelled against Moses, and they fell. The Old Testament says their carcasses fell in the desert.
So do you agree then, whenever a new prophet and a messenger is appointed by God, it's obligatory on the people to follow them to receive salvation. If you don't follow them, you will not have salvation. So you and I had to follow Moses for salvation.
So say for a Mormon, they had the revelation of Joseph Smith, so he is the last prophet. So you should follow Joseph Smith.
Sure. So if it is established that he is indeed the last prophet, it will be obligatory on everyone to follow him. But the question is, and what is to discuss, is he indeed...
The problem with that is that whether it's Joseph Smith or Nabi Muhammad,
There's a big parallel between the two.
that's right. And,
Joseph Smith and
that's
Muhammad.
right. And the two of them, they do not claim to be perfect.
No, I think...
But our prophet claims to be perfect.
But I think we are misunderstanding one key point here. The issue at hand is, whenever new prophet and messenger comes, the salvation is only through them, God sends. We agree? Okay.
No, but what I'm saying is...
But do you agree on that point?
I don't want to follow a prophet that says they're not perfect. It has to be someone who says they're perfect.
Just on this point.
What
do you mean? What do you mean?
Can I say this, Mansour? You're making a great point. What she's saying, you're making a good point. What she's saying is that somebody who doesn't seem to follow. So somebody who doesn't seem like, say, let's use someone we can both agree on, Joseph Smith, right? Somebody who doesn't seem to follow the people before, though there's some things that he does follow and agree with. What I think the lady's saying, which I would agree with, which is then we would say, no, we can't see how that person, when they're disagreeing with some things that Jesus and the apostles said, Moses done and said. So it has to be it can be changed, but there has to be agreement.
Okay. That's the point the lady didn't make, but still it's a valid point, isn't it?
Yeah, I want to follow someone who's perfect.
Okay, so that's not the same point, it's a different point.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a different point. So, right, did Moses the prophet claim that he was a prophet?
No.
Right, so at the time of Moses, would you follow him? He was not perfect according to you.
That was before the revelation came, yeah.
When Moses...
Yes, of course I would. If I lived in that time, I would follow Moses.
And yet he was not perfect.
Yeah.
So perfection is not a criteria to follow a prophet.
But we live in today. We live now.
We are now inventing new criteria for prophethood. When Moses, according to you, didn't claim to be perfect, and yet
I can't relate to that because I didn't live there.
no, it's not this.
And then what we believe in.
One second. If you say a prophet must be perfect by his own admission, and if Moses did not make that claim, then according to your own criteria of prophethood.
I go back. I would not follow Moses. I would follow God.
But how can you follow God without receiving the guidance from God through Moses?
The Mosaic law was given
through Moses.
Jesus, who should come through the Israelites.
I think you totally got mistaken.
That's why
during the time of Moses,
so in the prophet is
wait. During the time of Moses, peace be upon him, how did people receive guidance and revelation? Through Moses or without him?
So if you want to the Mosaic law was given because of Jesus, the Savior.
You're confusing her.
But Moses,
That's what we
wasn't
believe.
there.
No, yeah, but God
Jesus
gave
wasn't
the
there.
Mosaic law.
Exactly.
God gave the Mosaic law.
Sorry,
because
can
of
we?
Jesus who is coming. So those who believe in the Mosaic
You have
law,
confused the situation
it was
altogether.
about Jesus
Now,
and Jesus gonna come.
tell us what you think is sensible. To
We
believe
need to talk about the truth.
and follow God without Moses, with not through him, or through him during his time.
Sorry, say again the question.
He's asking me if I would.
If we
follow
were
Moses,
in the time of Moses, upon him be
who was
peace.
not perfect, or would I follow God back in those times? So he's saying now because
I think the question is framed wrongly.
framed wrongly.
I'll tell you
Look.
why. I'll tell you why. Because
Okay, let's see what he makes
Because-
of the question.
because the people who followed Moses, they are the Israelites. They were in slavery in Egypt. Okay, so he came with the miracles that God gave him to drive them out of Egypt. So your question is framed wrongly because these
absolutely
people.
not.
No, I'll tell
Let
you.
me-
No. Let me finish. Because these people saw the 10 plagues. They saw the miracle. They saw how God took them out of Egypt by the.
And suppose they don't believe in him,
Hey,
would they have
Phil,
salvation?
Phil,
No.
Thank you very much.
Hold on.
That's the point I'm making.
Would I follow
Salvation
Moses?
was not-
who
the
was
point-
not
yeah, the
perfect
point- the point
we're
back
making
in
is
his day? So why don't I follow Muhammad? Who
No.
was our last
That's not the point. Step by step. Let's understand.
perfect, whereas
Let's
Jesus
understand
was perfect.
step by step. Whenever a prophet comes and a messenger comes from God, it is an obligation on the people to follow that prophet and messenger.
Yeah.
We all agree.
I agree.
Right. Good. The next question is, how do we know someone is a prophet from God or not? That's the question. Like, what's the criteria whether Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a prophet or not? That's what you should be asking. Is he a prophet of God or not? You look at his character. You look at what his message is given. What did the people think of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam before he claimed to receive prophethood? What did people think of him? Did they consider him a lying person or a truthful person?
Yes, some.
Did they consider him to be a trustworthy or unreliable? What did the people consider him to be? What was his testimony?
I'm sorry to say this, but
You say I studied history as well.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, what did you read about the Prophet Muhammad before you will receive that?
So what did
It's
the
very
people?
hard because I'm a woman and I
No.
read.
You're an intelligent person. Women
No,
are intelligent too.
I read the
Well,
chapter
Alpha,
from the Quran. about
misunderstanding of
women.
Islam again.
I read the chapter
It is a
in the Quran
misunderstanding.
about
We need to
women and
understand what
Nabi
the verse refers
Muhammad's attitude to women.
What is his attitude towards women? I mean, I find that your statement is totally unjustified in the very context. You're trying to divert the issue with all due respect and with my humility. We are saying two things. I'll come back to the issues of women if you want to.
Yeah.
Because you're a woman, you have some issues.
Yeah.
Before the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was appointed by God as a prophet, 40 years of his life, did the people consider him to be a truthful person or a lying person? Number one.
Truthful. Yeah.
Truthful. Did they consider him trustworthy or untrustworthy? Trustworthy.
Yeah.
So he has a character certification already before his prophethood. He is a truthful person, he doesn't lie.
Well, it doesn't mean
Then,
anything, though.
when he received revelation and God gave him this revelation, people realized the revelation contains the truth. And that revelation contained the evidences for his claim that he is a prophet of God, that indeed this is from God. When the Quran came, it said to them, if you are in doubt as to what God has revealed to his servant Muhammad, upon him be peace, produce a chapter like unto this.
No, okay. Can
If
I
you are
say
truthful,
something? Sorry.
before you continue, let me finish the statement.
Let him speak.
But can I finish the statement? Then you speak.
No, because I wanted to speak about the.
Can I finish the
no,
verses,
go on.
right?
Yeah, go on.
So that you understand.
Yeah.
It says very clearly here, if you are in doubt, you, the people of that time,
Yeah.
as well as now,
Yeah.
as to what God has revealed to his servant Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then produce a chapter, a surah like unto this Quran.
Yeah.
If their doubt is true or they're truthful. If they want to do that, they have to what? Do this if they want to, besides God's help. They can seek their helpers and supporters to do this job if they want to. And God says, if you cannot do it and you will never be able to do it, then fear the hellfire whose fuel is man and stone. So we believe hellfire is run by which fuel? stone, certain type of stone, and man. So we don't want to be the fuel of hellfire. So those people who were asked and challenged, if you don't consider this Quran to be from God, produce something like it. You are the masters in your language. You produce beautiful poetry and hang them in the Kaaba. Produce something like the Quran. Whole Quran,
that argument
10 chapters.
Sorry, you're going too far.
Not too far. That's the Quran.
yeah.
Well, no, okay. Let me say something. When he came with his revelation, there were people, and it's in the Quran, and you would agree with me because you read it. It's in the Quran where people even accused him to be mad. That what he was bringing.
Do you know why?
No, what? Okay.
Do you know what this madness means?
Hold on,
No,
let
no.
me finish.
Contextualize.
You spoke for some 5
Okay,
minutes.
you
or so.
clarify
Let
then.
me-
What does it mean mad? According to the Arab cultural understanding, what is a mad person?
Let him speak.
No, I would like you to speak, but clarify according to the Arab understanding
People
of the
doubted
time.
him because the only
Sorry.
presenting you.
Please continue,
hold on.
but
Yeah, let me
explain
finish.
in the
let me-
Arab milieu
you will not
what is a
control-
mad person.
You will not control what I'm trying to say. Let me.
But you make a
finish
point
first.
and you don't address it.
Yes, I will address it.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure you will address that point about
Yes,
madness.
Yes. What you need to present, because you painting that picture that everybody were like accepting.
I didn't say that at all. When did I say that?
You said when he came,
Yeah.
he spoke. You said that people accepted it, and you didn't.
When did I say people accepted it?
Well,
I made no claim. I said for 40 years,
Yeah.
people certified of his character that he was a truthful and a trustworthy individual. That's a fact of reality,
Okay, what I was-
history. Then I said
Yeah.
when people had questions about him, because now, yes, you said, okay, that's a personal character.
not just question.
Wait.
Objections. That's
When
what you need to clarify.
people
had
heard him
objections.
reciting the Quran, the
Not
Quran
just
challenged
questions,
them.
They had objections.
People were challenging
They had objections, yes or no? They had objections.
of what?
Of his prophethood, of his message. He had objections. He had people who objected.
Can I clarify? I think there's been a confusion.
Well, no, I'm sure he can clarify clearly.
No, yeah, I know. But as a third
I know this
person,
man, he can
yes,
clarify.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But what I was saying
You can
was,
clarify.
I'll just clarify, just to be easy, yeah. The fact of the matter is, what he was saying is before. This is the confusion that's happened. Well, but then I'll just finish with it. He was saying that before the message came to him, was he of a trustworthy character?
Yes,
That's what he's saying.
that was
And
established.
in the
We
Quran,
established that.
he was of a trustworthy character. In the Quran, if any people are calling him anything, that's after the message arrived, and those are people who are the doubters. No one's saying anything about that.
Well, that's what I wanted to say, right? You had people who objected him, who said he was mad. People who said to him, no, this is not from God. So you had those objections when he came early with his message.
Correct. The Quran
Yes.
already documents their reaction. No, the Quran documents the reaction. Do you know what majnoon means in that time? Someone possessed by a jinn, committing or using sihr, magic. Do you know why they said the Quran was magic? Because they could not explain how someone can produce something like this Quran. To them, it's not about you disagreeing. If you understand what a mad person is to them, is someone possessed and making all this magic. Why they call the Quran a magic? Just like Jesus Christ, the son of Mary, when he performed miracles, the Quran reports his people considered this to be magic. When the Quran came to the people in Arabia, they considered the Quran to be magic. Why? Because they knew it is beyond their capacity to bring something like it, and they say it's magic, it's a magician trick. Wait. We will see. We will see. Which pre-Islamic poetry is like the Quran? Which
I don't
one?
have it right now with me.
Then say it.
What? No.
If you cannot substantiate it, because
I really disagree with your point that you're not meant to follow
Sorry?
the holy books. A good Muslim should follow all the holy
do you follow the books of Noah? Where are they?
The books of Noah,
Yeah,
yes.
where are
I
they?
do, the Old Testament.
No, it doesn't have the books of Noah.
The Old Testament starts from.
It's a mosaic story. Where are the books of Noah? Do you follow them?
Where are the scrolls?
Can you follow them?
Yeah, but the Quran says follow all the holy books.
No. I'm addressing your point now. Try to understand.
believe.
Try to understand this logically. If you don't have them, you can't follow them. The Quran doesn't say follow them, it says believe in it. So we believe in the revelation that was sent to them.
How can you believe in them if you don't read them?
We believe in the revelation sent to them, meaning what? We have faith that God sent those revelations. For example, let's make it very simple. We say, the Quran says to us, that God revealed the Injil to Jesus Christ. Right? Did Jesus Christ, in your tradition, write the gospel? Did he?
I think we're going round and round.
No. The answer is no, he did not write them. Okay. No. Now you realize. Now you realize something's very important, and we can't just brush it aside. Jesus, as we know from your scriptural tradition, he did not pen anything himself as a gospel. What he was doing, the message that he received from God, he was preaching to the people. So that gospel was what he taught to the people. Do you know which one it is? You haven't got a clue because he didn't write it himself. Right. What you have instead, hang on, what you have instead is some people later on said, we think this is the Injil of Jesus. They started writing, like Luke, for example. Do you know what Luke said? Do you know? One second. Do you know what Luke said? Luke, in his introduction to his gospel, he says, just as many people are undertaking. Sorry, listen. Luke,
can I say something?
1 minute. Let's contextualize the message. Luke, one of the author of the gospel. Do you know how many Gospels there were written within the first 300-400 years of Christianity? It's not 4. I know 49 Gospels by name. I may have forgotten some of them if you ask me to count. Gospel of the Nazarene, Gospel of the Hadrianite, Gospel of St. Thomas, Gospel of Mary, Gospel of Infancy. None of them are in your Bible. Many Gospels are written. So when Luke says, just as many people are writing,
Can I come back to the prophet
Sorry. One second. Did Luke not say that?
I think no. We're not.
Excuse me.
We're not having a discussion. We're having.
I believe in the Prophet Muhammad is the last Nabi.
So sorry. Did
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay, did Luke not say that?
I believe.
Anyone have a physical copy of the Bible? Do you have a Bible?
I also believe
Luke went to the eyewitnesses. Luke went to the eyewitnesses. So Luke wrote it, but he went to the eyewitnesses. So those who were there. And what he's saying, the claim of the New Testament is different than the claim of the Quran. The New Testament, the claim of the New Testament.
That's not the gospel, though, is it?
Where is the Quran?
Is the New Testament the gospel?
But the claim
ask the lady a question. Is the New Testament the gospel of Jesus?
In John 14:25 and John 15:25. That's where you see the claim of the gospel. What the gospel.
That's the claim of the gospel. But is it the gospel?
It claims itself what it is.
Did you hear the question?
I think you're not even understanding the question.
Can we come back on Muhammad?
May I ask you, when the Gospels of Mark and Matthew or Luke, for example, says, and Jesus went and preached the gospel. 1 second. And Jesus went and preached the gospel. Who is saying the Gospel of Matthew or Mark or Luke, whatever? Is that the gospel of Jesus?
Can I just say something here? Can I say something?
We're playing with semantics here. We're playing with
round
words
and round
and
and round in circles, and none of us will be won by argument.
But are you following my argument?
We need to ask.
Does my argument make sense to you?
We need to ask God's Spirit to reveal Himself to us through dreams and revelations, and be open to His Spirit. You do, I do.
But the evidence.
Would you then say the God that we should ask is the God of Jesus Christ?
You're controlling the conversation.
I'm asking her. The lady is speaking. Am I speaking to you? I'm speaking to the lady.
Yeah, but I wanted to come back on Muhammad when you said before the revelation he was trustworthy, right? He was Amin or all. Right? Mm-hmm. He had those things before the revelation. Now, when he received the revelation with no witnesses.
Who said that?
Well, your Quran says that. Your tradition.
Where does my Quran say he has no witnesses?
Your tradition. Can
you substantiate that, please?
No, but No.
You're
playing with words.
No, sorry, I cannot have a discussion with someone who makes open claims and doesn't substantiate when asked.
It was.
Where does my Quran say he has no witnesses?
It was Jibril.
No. You made a statement, my friend.
Yes.
Substantiate. Where does my Quran say, in which chapter, which verse, that he had no witnesses?
I don't have any chapter or verse right now.
Sorry, I cannot talk to you. The reason being, you keep making statements of claims, and you can't substantiate.
Contradict it, then show me.
No, I'm not going to even contradict.
I'm not going to talk about this.
Listen. I am sorry. I am not willing to discuss with individuals who make claims. You take care. And then when question doesn't substantiate and say I don't know. Then when you know, then make claims.
Who was the witness?
No.
Who was the witness
Excuse
when
me.
the revelation came? Who was the witness?
Look.
Okay, let's talk
One
about
second.
something, another
You made a claim.
Yes.
Either you substantiate or you go away, learn, and come back and substantiate.
No. That's your trick that you want to play.
Excuse me?
That's the same trick that you want to play.
Trick?
When more, yes.
I just challenged you of your blatant, erroneous, lying claim.
No, it's not lying. Maybe
Okay, prove yourself.
When Muhammad received the revelation
That's not my point.
from Jibril, who was the witness? Who was
Listen,
there?
you made a claim the
Was
Quran
Khadija there?
said.
Was Khadija
The Quran
there?
backs up.
No, I said-
Where does the Quran say
I
that?
said Quran. I said Quran or Hadith or
No.
tradition.
Okay. Should we rewind? Watch yourself later when it's uploaded in SCDAR.
Let me correct now.
No, that's it. End of discussion. Because you're not being very, very sincere.
Wow, you see?
Are you being very sincere?
I am being sincere.
But you know-
I'm asking you questions.
You made a claim, either you backtrack saying, I apologize, or maybe it doesn't say
You
that.
want to put word in my mouth.
Oh, you're so not prideful. Man of proud?
Right.
This pride?
Let me.
But I want to go back to-
No, I'm not going back anywhere. I'm going to stick on this point.
I don't see anywhere of what I've studied, what I've read. Okay, I don't see anywhere where there was a witness when Muhammad received the revelation.
That's not what he's asking.
When did Prophet Muhammad receive revelation?
Quran
When-
or Hadith
listen.
or any other book.
He was on his horse or his camel, revelation descended on him, and the camel or his horse would depress in the sand. That was witnessed by the companions. Oh, you have not
In the
even studied
cave,
that.
in the cave.
Oh, now we're talking about in the cave.
Well, I'm talking about the first
Earlier on you
revelation.
said, sorry,
The
just to
first
clarify,
revelation.
let me clarify why this happened. Yeah, earlier on, you said that in the Quran, it backs up that there were no witnesses. That's why he asked
Where does
you-
it say that in the Quran?
Exactly, and then you said, no
The
problem,
first
you
revelation.
backtracked, no problem, you backtracked.
Oh, he backtracked.
You
Good.
backtracked, yeah. And then he apologized, well, I don't know if you apologized, but you backtracked that it's not in the Quran, that there are no, it says that there are no witnesses. Then Brother Mansour just stated just now that there's hadith that state clearly that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was on his horse or on his camel and he received revelation. The camel itself reacted. Many witnesses were there by the Sahaba to see this. So you stated,
okay.
no problem, just
Okay,
to clarify,
let
I'll finish off. And that is that you stated there were no witnesses. You just stated that there were witnesses via the hadith. Is this what you were saying?
Yes. So now you realize you're going to move your goalposts and say, but what happened in the cave? Was the Quran revealed all of it in the cave?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Right,
But
then
my
that's
point-
irrelevant
Let me
to
go
say there
back
were
to
no
my
witnesses.
point. My
One second,
point was this.
I'm still addressing your
you've
point.
spoken enough.
I
Let me
haven't
also
finished.
speak. Let me also speak.
If
Because
you
I
allow me
haven't
to
been-
finish,
I haven't
then you can
been able
speak.
to speak,
I
Mansour.
haven't finished.
I haven't been able to
I haven't
speak.
not finished.
Yeah, but I haven't even
Okay.
started.
Thank
I
you.
haven't even started.
Khalas.
Why do you want to finish?
Because you don't let me
I haven't even
finish.
started.
If you don't let me finish, the discussion doesn't proceed.
You have spoken.
But
and you
I haven't
mentioned it.
finished.
You're just clarifying. Okay. Yeah, we finished then. Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Khalas. You don't let me finish. And the argument.
You want to control the conversation. I can't even make my point.
But
You know,
you asked
every
me a
time
question,
every
let
time
me
you
finish
come
the
in-
answer. Simple.
No.
Alright, fine, forget
That's the
it.
problem you have, isn't it? You ask someone a question and you don't want to finish the answer.
I was
Sorry.
about. That's fine.
Learn how to communicate.